You shouldn't have been talking shit.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for L2 Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the Real Housewives. I was going to be shady, but I won't. This is season 16, Sweet, Sour, Pistol Whipping 16. Episode 6, is it? Anyways, I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. Also, if you can, please leave your comments and share the video. And subscribe if you are new. Let's get into it. Okay, y'all. So I'm not going to be before you too long at all. There's stuff, but a lot of stuff I don't really care about. And don't know how long I'm going to really hold on to this show. Just being honest. So we start with the dramatic scene. 48 hours later, you hear all that dramatic music. I said, y'all are just so stupid. We get Sinus. Maybe I'll call her Sinus Strip, but at least Sinus. I have not slept for 24 hours. Remember, she said that she did not sleep for 24 hours the day after she did the whole pistol whipping thing and whip thing. Remember that? When she said that, when she was with Angela and Shamari? Or Shamari, ooh, Lord. Shamia. I notice a pattern. She says that she did something with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend videotaped her giving fellatio, and she also did webcam. I don't know if this is where Portia's getting at, that there was some underage stuff going on. If it was underage, I don't think that Kenya knew that. Whatever she's shown, I don't believe that Kenya would be that crazy. Y'all can think whatever about her. I don't care. So, it's just weird. You wipe this all from the internet. So, she said she took her time to go search for it. But if it's white, how can they find it? You're not making any sense, ma'am, that you wiped it. I own it. In your confessional, I did. She spent $250 on the flowers. Now, she said that she was in shock, but she was able to just start crying on camera to her husband that really could not give a... Y'all keep saying how he's not really involved with this dude, with her. But he's so amazing, but it doesn't seem like he's that emotionally available to her. I mean, y'all... Kind of like they're there. You know that pat that she didn't like getting from Kenya? That's how Mike is in scenes with her. They're there. Okay. I just be looking like, okay, y'all, but hey. So I'm over it. And I honestly don't care how you feel, lady. You started it and you act like it's nothing. And we just don't care. I don't care. Do y'all care? Let me know in the comments. The group comes over to Shamari. They talk about Kenya for a minute, I thought, or at least that was in the promo. I just don't know. But I wanted to see the aftermath because of how people were feeling about the whole situation. Angela, she comes with a fan. I guess she has like that post. What is it called? What is it that women get? Oh my Lord. I'm smarter than this. I can't remember. But basically still, she gets the hot flashes and all that good stuff. But she turns it around in her confessional saying, I just don't bring a fan around because I'm hot. I'm the hottest itch in the room. I said, okay, go ahead. Angie wants to ask Portia, what is it about Charles? So now Portia wants to lie and says that it was nothing. I guess you don't really know me and I was just playing with you. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. Because you're the same one that knows that Peter was paying his bartenders or waitresses with Peen. Remember that? We know that. Drew arrives and they start talking about divorce. She's getting ready for another time in court. Drew is, I don't care. Portia goes in and starts talking about, I have wanted to just see if we can reconcile and if I could just get him alone. But there's nothing that we could do because he disrespected my mom. This is around the time that Simon started talking about that Portia came into the house with guns with the mom. He disrespected my mom. What, by telling the truth? because you still have not denied that you went into that home to infiltrate your home. Do I think that the mom is down with the ish? I think so. So I don't know about this disrespect. I don't care. So then she starts talking about her child who had a great connection with Simon. And she doesn't even call him Pop anymore. Well that sounds like a granddaddy to me anyways, but um Fallon told us how he is with his children. He left her alone for months at a time with these children. The last time he separated, while you were saying that he was getting a divorce and he was just finalizing things, and then we got together or got engaged. But we saw you partying on boats with your natural hair. Tisa Tells told us everything, ma'am. So stop it with your weird relationship with timelines. So she doesn't call him that anymore. She calls him Simon. I think she said Simon. I think she said Simon. But anyways, so how long have y'all been apart, Portia? What, y'all been married for what, 15 months? And your daughter already lost whatever name or forgot whatever name or stopped calling. No, children don't do that. Children doesn't do not. If they start calling somebody some, they don't just do that overnight. So how long were y'all apart? If this is actually true. So she begins to cry. Shmi is there. Da 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 da. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. The only part I've actually cared about is this next scene. Kelly and her daughter, they are doing some type of meditation with tuning forks and stuff like that. The daughter just breaks down and says, I really don't want to get married because of what Kelly's been through. Um, Mark has been in the daughter's life who is not his daughter since she was two. Of course, there was a great connection there. And to see this man totally flip out into this monster is totally crazy. Kelly wants to kind of encourage her, still have an open mind. I love when people are healed. When someone has been through that type of trauma or seen that type of trauma, you do need therapy. But I'm glad the daughter, Kelly was like, you don't have to go to therapy. We can do more meditation and all that. She said, I do not want to do any meditation. I want to go back to therapy. The best thing in the world. Thank God. Thank God, Kelly, that the daughter, I'm glad that you actually said that. So this is the best scene that I've seen. So anyways, Drew and Ralph. Drew and Ralph have this strange arrangement. Every first, third, and 15th of the month, Drew has to leave the house, and Ralph can come out of the basement to give the children normalcy that he can have time with the children. So she has to pack up and leave, which is one of the weirdest, dumbest things in the world. So they need to have a conversation and says that my lawyer told me to tell you about an exterminator. We're calling it an exterminator and all this stuff. And he's like, for what? I pay for everything. But he wants alimony. And he knows your money. He knows what's in your bank and uses your money. Drew was like, okay, whatever. I'm not doing this. And then she gets out of the house as she's supposed to. She has this conversation with Allison, who's there with her. I guess he ended up saying that it's my time. Basically, I think he wanted to perform for the cameras. He got a confessional. I don't even know what he said. He just still has his shirt off. I don't get it. But I don't know what's going on there, and I just don't have the capacity to try to find out what's going on there. It's really weird and crazy. But if y'all like it, y'all love it, y'all like Drew in this light with I'm not getting it because this is so weird. So he came up, I think, to perform for the cameras and saying it's my time because she says that normally he waits until I leave and then he comes, and now it looks like he all of a sudden changed. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's all we heard. Okay, so Angela and Drew, they come to Shamia in the studio working on her song with RL, R&B sensation. I had no clue that was RL's wife back in season 9 with Candy. Candy was trying to put them on the show back then, but I think she went over to Basketball Wives, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm like, A basketball player? What? I don't get it. But she was on Basketball Wives right after season 9. It was, I think, the same season that Tammy came back, or the following season after Tammy came back. But anyways, what was I gonna say? Okay, yeah. So she's getting her song together. There's some shade. Drew says, "Oh, this song could pay for tuition and all this stuff." She says she got royalties and all this stuff, but royalties from what, Drew? Because you've been an actress, but you haven't been a series regular anywhere. Like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, Shamia sings her song. She's long-winded as she always is, and just kind of wants the attention on me, type of deal. You gonna hear this song, okay? We move on over to Sinus again, and she visits her mom, who I thought the mom was staying with Britt and Mike. What are you visiting your mom for? How come she didn't just come upstairs or downstairs to come talk to you? So she was there saying that this has brought her and her sister that she hasn't been talking to closer. They're still going to be, this proved that everything's going to be all right with their family. They're always going to see, they're going to have each other's back, basically. The mom talking about this is Miss USA. She start crying again and da 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 da. Still don't care. Let's move on. Portia and Shamia, they go out. Portia says that her therapist has recommended for her to self-preservation, meaning seclude herself while you have a job on a reality show. That you said that Simon was taking money out of your pocket for not allowing you to shoot in the mansion. Y'all can't tell me that Krianta wasn't a distraction to get Portia into more scenes. Perfect Portia into more scenes. Y'all can't tell me that that's not what was up. Tell me I'm lying. Because what? You have a job. You have a contract that you have to fulfill. So you go away in seclusion. I mean, you were more active when you had Pilar and Dennis was cheating on you and you had postpartum depression. A man that you knew was a scammer has put you on your bed rest where you can't even film, where you can't even be around people. I'm telling you, you were more active then than you are now on your third romance. Well, you had more romances. But it's just like, what the? Don't care. It's me and them. We found out. Oh, I almost threw up. Because what I just said, was about to say, is so gross. Portia has an embryo with Simon. You were going to procreate with this man. Fallon had enough sense not to procreate with this man, even though we see what she's doing now, if you're catching up, keeping up with her. You had an embryo. But she says she can't worry about that now. She got to get this stuff and then we can talk about that. I mean, that's a part of your divorce. You had an embryo. So if you had an embryo, were y'all having sex? Did y'all actually have erectile problems as it was already reported? This is the fan favorite, y'all. Okay, I'm through with them. They talk a little bit. They talk about Angie with the fan and looking like Netta. Charles, your lunch is ready. That's all I got to really say. I don't really care. Shamia's putting her feelings to the side once again for this thing that will throw you to the side. Anyways, we're moving on to Kelly. Last scene. She's having a peace brunch or peach brunch, whichever one it is. It's dedicated to Britt because earlier in the episode, Kelly did something for her friend, got IVs and all that, just pampering her to. Britt did say that she feels like Kenya was trying to get a reaction out of her. She was going to try to get a reaction out of me. And side note, I kind of believe it. And the reason that Kenya wanted to do it is to get you off the show. Since you won't do things my way, Bravo, and listen to me, I'm going to do things my way. In another way. And we're going to get this girl off the show. I kind of believe that, though. Anyways, we're at the brunch. We find out the Portia's not going to be there because she's sick again. She's like, oh, I knew I should have took something when I knew Pilar was sick. But weren't you just sick a couple weeks ago when Drew wanted to meet up with you? Fan favorite, Anchor. So everyone comes except for Portia. Fallon, what's her name? Sinus, she shows up as the last person. She says the hardest part is behind us. The hardest part is behind us. Shut up. Shut up. But she doesn't want to be in the room with Kenya, as she said during this thing. And her mood switched as soon as she found out that others were talking with Kenya. She started going on. I can't believe you guys actually were talking with Kenya and all that. You know what she did to me. I got a lot of things coming up against me. I may lose my license. And Angela was like, well, how so? What do you mean, how so? What do you mean? No. And then Angela said, hold up, Itch. I just asked you a question. I'm a real estate broker. I have a license and all that. You had stuff going on beforehand. This ain't from Kenya and rumors and all that stuff. So they got into it, and then Kelly got up and wanted to separate Angie from Britt. Every time Britt is called to the carpet, she flips. But she don't have no behavioral issues and all that. And her sisters was the one that handled all her fights and got pistols and whips. Okay. Y'all keep on believing that mess. What was I going to say? Andrew was like, you're not taking responsibility to your part. We're here because of what happened with you. Finally, somebody's starting at A. Drew spoke her part and all that. She said, look, I don't condone what Kenya did. However, both of you guys are wrong. I admit my wrong. I admit my wrong. I think Angie, when she was getting up or whatever, she said, let me get up and take Polly and Esther with me, blah, 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 blah. And when Shamia asked the question that Angie asked, what's going on with your license? She says that she's under investigation, da-da-da-da-da. And then Angela said, thought so. Thought so? Well, twirl yourself out. I said, wait a minute, fan. Why are you talking about Kenya? Drew said, oh, Kenya is really here. Twirl out. Like, yeah, you're obsessed. Like, why would you use Kenya's reads on someone else? You're not prepared for reality TV, ma'am. This is not your vein. Go back into private citizenship, or go back to webcams. Go back to all of these luxurious places that you're used to. Go back to your country club, man. That's all I gotta say for this. I don't know if I'm going to continue on reviewing. Even in the next episode, there's a trip Portia's hosting, and she did not invite Drew. Why would you already stop inviting people on the cast that has a contract? The group is already fractured, and now you're playing games. So I don't think that this season is going to be that great. But hey, whatever. I did like the scene where Andy stepped up to Britt. That's the real Chicago, not that Drew Chicago she was talking about. That's all I have. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Because I just don't care about these scenes. I'm not going to care about your tears. You started this mess, Britt, and that's just that. Like, subscribe, share, comment below. Until the next one, peace.